Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad.
Well, welcome home, family. It's your mom and dad, and Evan's popping
Here we
champagne.
go.
Oh God!
Let's go. Like if I aimed that, someone would be in the hospital.
Yeah, no, that literally. Oh my God! Hey,
Wow.
Congratulations to the Bachelor finale and the happy couple.
Good morning. Good morning to the happy couple.
I don't know why I do not want to drink champagne. It's early. It's midweek.
Wait, you don't like warm champagne in the morning?
It was for the bit, and it wasn't a bit, and I didn't really want to drink it. But I feel like it's just.
I got a nice,
it's
like a champagne bath with my hands. Like,
perfume.
It's like, ooh, nice and sticky, nice and sticky. Family, it's our finale episode, Joey's finale episode. And not only that, Jesse Palmer let us know at the top, it's also the Bachelor's birthday, 22 years. 22 years of 22 this
seasons?
Damn show. No, this is the 28th season.
20.
Honey.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it was 28th of The Bachelor. 22 years since they started the show.
Oh, wow. 22 years.
22 years. So how old was I? I can't do math. I'm currently 35.
5 or 4 or 5.
I was 23. Am I doing the math correctly? 23?
Wait, are you 44?
Oh, yeah.
For 45?
See, I told you I can't do math. This is so embarrassing. I was 15.
You were 15.
I was 15, and I remember watching my first season of the show when I was about 16. Because I watched, I think, the second season, Andrew Firestone's season. So
if anyone listening is our age or older, you realize how old you are when you look back at those old seasons and you're like, wait, was this in the 70s? You know what I mean? Because you don't realize how long it's been, like how long 20 years is. So when you see the videos of these people walking around in the outfits and the guys are wearing zoot suits,
oh, dude,
they're
suits.
huge. And you're like, wait, how old is this show? And you're like, wait, I was a legit teenager with this. It's shocking how.
No, the suits were absolutely 10 times too large for the first Bachelor. The shoulders went on for a century, millennia. Yes. These shoulders went, they were so padded. Honestly, the type of suits I wear now. But yeah, no, when you also hear 22 years ago, you're like, oh, you mean so I don't know. I was
I was
2.
Born. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I had already gone to my first dance. That's upsetting.
It's upsetting. It's getting upsetting when people say 20 years ago and you're like, oh my gosh, so long ago. And you're like, I was very aware of what was going on 20 years ago. So to all you young people that are watching right now going, I don't know what they're talking about. One day you'll feel this.
One day. But you know what? Congratulations to our happy couple. If you haven't watched the final episode and don't want to be spoiled, then don't listen to this podcast. But 3, 2, 1, Kelsey and Joey are engaged. They are engaged. And you know what? They seem so in love.
They do. They really, they had me with Daisy there for a minute.
I know.
There was a chunk kind of in the middle when there was probably maybe 10 people left where I was like, I think it's Daisy. Mm-hmm. But that chemistry, that they had that extra 10% that was every time they got together, couldn't really keep your hands off each other, kind of can't wait to get out of here energy.
Remember when he put her on the sink? Or on the counter. When he put her on the counter, anytime the counter happens.
I felt like I knew.
Listen, he put her on the counter and she wiped what I can only guess is a macaroon crumb away from his mouth.
Disgusting macaroon crumb. By the way, just want to say this: a lot of support for the anti-macaroon community.
You know what?
I got a lot of messages being like, for real, that shit sucks.
I have to tell you, so I had stayed away from most of the DMs the past couple weeks just in case I get a spoiler. So last night I went into the DMs, which I do want to talk about because some of the family sent me things that I'm like, oh, now I'm glad I know about the season. But when I dove in last night and I was scrolling through, I was seeing so much macaroon hate. So how dare all of you
again
with your macaroon hate? All I'm saying is Joey does not see you because clearly clearly Joey is a fan. And I hope for Kelsey and Joey's wedding cake that it's a giant macaroon tower.
Yes.
Because that's what he wants.
Listen, I say a lot of groundbreaking things when it
God,
comes to my opinions.
Sick.
and everyone, at first the reaction's
ill.
like, how could you think that? And then the amount of people that come out of the woodwork being like, thank you for saying that. We are out here. We stand together.
I'm really glad that you found your Roomba community,
Yes, my
your
Roomba community.
Z-heads, the Zelda heads, which obviously I can relate to that. Your anti-macaroon society.
I'm a bit of a rebel, a bit of a ground sweller. So just so you know, I see all of you who are too afraid to speak up about your passions and things you don't like, and I'm here, helping you out.
Yeah, I will say I can understand that with the macaroon because the macaroon or the macaron. Excuse me. The macaron.
That's another reason to hate him.
The macaron.
Yeah.
It has become, it's very hot right now. It's been hot for the past couple years. So I get actually speaking up and saying I don't like the macaron is like.
And we'll put this to bed because this is not that interesting. But here's.
We had a wild finale, groundbreaking
We'll
finale, and we're like, let's stick with the
actually
macarons.
deal with the important. Here's my final point on it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't bright and colory, no one would eat them. It's about the fact they're pretty.
It's like they're pretty and they're expensive.
Exactly.
So people are
So
like,
you think
they have to.
They're expensive.
They have to like.
And whenever you go to a bakery or a shop that has them, they're in a beautiful tower with like all sorts of ornate stuff. So everyone's like, oh, it's shiny. It's like, it's like evolution brain. It's like, it's shiny, so I gotta like it.
So you think the macaron is superficial? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. It's a class thing. It's like a I'm better than you thing. I eat these. You eat a chocolate chip cookie. I eat a champagne flavored, puff. It's, you know what I mean? It's saying I'm elevated, and I'm sitting here in the trenches going, hey, chocolate chip cookies, oatmeal cookies, we're here standing. So just,
Oatmeal, that's another, he's swinging for the fences right now, everybody. He's really taking risks.
Anyway.
Well, anywho, Joey is eating them to celebrate by the bucket load in his hotel room right now with Kelsey because they finally get to now spend time together out in the open, do all their interviews, all of these things. And also before we officially start diving in to all the drama and all of this, I did want to pour out a little bit of champagne to our dear friend Jesse Palmer because he is mega depressed because he will hate any future bachelor. As we've spoken on before, his tennis buddy, his golf buddy, his best friend is gone.
Yes.
And he will hate whoever. In fact, maybe he'll quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we got to get a hold of him. He might quit at this point. Because I also noticed Zach Shallcross not in the audience last night.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So I feel like Zach's given up on trying to be best friends with Jesse because he's like, Jesse's now best friends with Joey. But now Jesse's about to lose Joey because now Joe's really consumed with Kelsey and now there's going to be a new bachelor at some point. And he's just not. And again, unless he's a chef or something, it's just not going to happen.
So to any of you out there, Bachelor possibles, learn a skill that Jesse might like and you'll have a better chance.
I do feel like it will go well
Research
for you.
him a little bit. If he's like, oh, I'm into if he's posting about F1.
Yeah.
Get some tickets to an F1, invite him. Or just, start posting about how much you love F1. Like, find his interest because he might be kind of like the curator. You never know. You never know who's the powers that be.
I don't think it's Jesse, but know what?
He is the show creator also. Now that I think of it. It
wouldn't hurt to be like, hey, I'm tired of doing a billion ITMs, but like, who's going to get me out of an ITM? If all of a sudden Joey's, hour 5 of an ITM, Jesse Palmer pops in and he goes, guys, let him be. We're booked for a round at the course. Like, let him take a breather. He probably saved Joey a lot during some of their rounds together.
Jesse was probably doing that thing like, well, while he's in ITMs, right? And if he's like looking at the camera and like the producers, and then like Jesse comes up behind him and just goes like, and he's like holding the rackets.
Yeah.
He's doing that kind of shit. Like, after, right? You know what I mean? Or let's go.
Yeah. Doing fake shots.
Exactly.
Pretending to swing the golf club and knock out a producer, and he's like, oh.
Yeah. He's doing a whole thing. He's like, or whatever. Come on. It's all behind the camera. Yeah, he's gonna be sad.
I know. So I just want to pour one out for Jesse Palmer because it is a loss for him. It is a loss for him. So
having a buddy on the road doing all that fun stuff with, I mean, I'd feel the same way.
I know. Agreed. Well, let's officially dive into this because they got me, and we'll get into why they got me.
Okay.
But first, we got to take a quick pause, family. Here's the thing. The contestants during this season had some gorgeous outfits. Wow. I'm looking at you, Maria and Rachel, some of my favorite fits of the entire season, the franchise, truly. But speaking of outfits, I'd like to talk about a particular part of the outfit, the bra. Do me a favor, close your eyes and imagine. Imagine a bra that you actually want to wear. You probably can't think of one unless you already own Honey Love. Today's sponsor, Honey Love, has revolutionized the bra game. Say goodbye to underwire and bulky fabrics that trap heat. Honey Love's bras feature supportive bonding that eliminates the need for underwire without sacrificing lift. And for a limited time only, you can get Honey Love on sale. Get 20% off your entire order with our exclusive link, honeylove.com/momdad. Support our show and check them out at honeylove.com/momdad. Okay, but back to the bras. I also forgot to mention how delicious the fabric is. It is so soft. I only wear Honey Love bras now. I love their bestseller crossover bra. It is so comfortable. It gives all the support of traditional bras without using any underwires. Plus, mesh detailing adds a touch of sexy. And by the way, Honey Love's bras are designed with back smoothing fabric to prevent bra bulge. Also, when I'm in more of a relaxed, loungy mood, I go for their V bra. Of course, it offers the support of a traditional bra without the uncomfortable underwire, but it also is designed to lift and separate with molded cups, and it's not that shelf-like bra that creates the uniboob effect. You know what I'm talking about. I'm obsessed with this V bra, and by the way, it doesn't stop there. Honey Love has more than just bras. They have incredibly comfortable shapewear tanks and leggings for everyday support. I'm telling each of you, family, I only ever wear Honey Love bras, okay? To be honest, I tried wearing not a Honey Love bra the other day, and I wanted to rip it off. I will never wear another bra again. It can only be Honey Love. It can only be Honey Love. They are the best. It's Honey Love only for me. Treat yourself to the best bras on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com/momdad. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off, honeylove.com/momdad. After you purchase, they ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Treat yourself to Honey Love because you deserve it. So, should we just get right into this?
Yes, let's
get
go.
right into this. Family, I have to say right off the top, they got me. The franchise, they absolutely got me. The ending didn't happen where Joey was left all alone.
No.
And it didn't happen that Kelsey and Joey ended up getting married and Jesse Palmer officiated. What didn't happen is that, you know, one of the women was dating one of the light men, the lightning men, the crew.
Yeah. Lightning.
The lightning
men. I'm like, wait, what? The lighting men. Understood.
So all of our theories were all wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't get it at all. Okay. Squashed.
Yeah. I mean, it was, listen, it was like very interesting that what happened. It was like unique, but it wasn't like, it was like at the end of the day, the show still was what the show was. And there still was a choice at the end, and it all went according to plan. It was just a Daisy.
I feel like the way that it ended very much gave me, like, it was historic.
Yes.
Because it was like this supportive, beautiful moment. Everyone's crying.
Okay, I will say this. Jesse, for the first time, can say, never before happened.
And it was true. It really hasn't. It's never happened
like
before.
Like it was one time ever.
It really was.
Yes.
And so it was true. But it wasn't like, oh my God. You know, again, they absolutely led us to believe with that intro with the Billie Eilish song.
Exactly.
And like, you know, Joey with like snot bubble type crying, that it was going to be a devastator,
right.
You know, and he was sad for sure, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't this absolutely he's crushed and left with no one, especially because, again, we had the whole narrative the entire time going about Joey being afraid that he was going to get left. And again, the catechism that he said over and over again that we all said together, which I don't think did he bring up at the final rose ceremony or the proposal? I don't think he said anything about that.
About his fear?
Yeah.
No, I mean, we had talked about it every other minute.
I'm just saying.
I think that was the one moment he was like, maybe I shouldn't, now that I actually have a fiance. I should stop talking about this.
I feel like maybe it was just kind of in line with the whole energy that I was like, I thought maybe he would bring it up like as he was putting the ring on Kelsey's finger. He's like, just a reminder.
Just a reminder.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Just something.
He put it on there and he's
like,
just so you know, like there's actually a locking mechanism, like a chastity belt or something that you cannot take off the ring now. It's stuck there for at least a year. So you have to stay with me for a year before we decide.
But anywho, they got me.
They got me too. They definitely, I mean, it was historic, but it like, again, they got us in the whole like, do we really think he's going to walk away and he's going to be alone and no one's there? It's possible, but I will say when he had his date night conversation with Daisy before Kelsey, I thought there's still a chance that he dumps Daisy and Kelsey bails on like marriage is too much energy.
I also thought too when we had the final moment where they zoomed out because I gotta say when we were seeing one of them and then the other and then they zoomed out and they're holding hands in the car together. Historic, has never happened ever before. In that moment, I thought, are they both leaving? Like I kind of had that feeling where I'm like, okay. You know, clearly we'd heard that Kelsey is totally in love with him, but we'd had those moments lingering with the family about, you know, is she not ready for getting married, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, wait, are they about to do like a 1-2 bye Joey together? I had a
twinge that they were going to bust him on something. Like, you told us both the same thing or something. Oh. You know what I mean? Because Daisy sat down with Kelsey and was like, I need to talk to you about what's going on.
Oh, right.
So I thought it was like let's cross-reference our stories. Did he tell you this too? We're going as a team to confront him about this. That for a moment I was like, wait, is that what's going on? But it was just supportive friend vibes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's get officially into how this goes. At first, we have the meeting of Joey's family. And he says, by the way, that he decided that he will not say I love you until the very last day. And that gets brought up later a couple times too, where he very specifically was intentional about not saying I love you. Yeah. And he waited until the final proposal. And I just have to say, you know, I needed to cool my jets because a couple of weeks ago when we were in, was it Fantasy Suite or was it? Yeah, I think it was Fantasy Suite where he was saying at first to Kelsey, like, I've fallen in love with you, da-da-da-da-da. And then he said it to Daisy. And I kind of went on a rant because I was like, he's scared of getting left, right, you know, and he's now saying that. And I feel like we're going to have a Gary situation. And I was kind of going off. Truth of the matter is he never said, I love you. Yeah. And we do see a lot of leads say, I love you, you're the one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I probably needed to sit back on my heels a little bit. But here's the bottom line, everybody. Every single time, and I think I'm also a little traumatized after the Love is Blind season. I'm like, trust no man. Okay.
Sure.
After Love is Blind, I was like, every single season, something happens at the end with one of these bachelors where I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah. So I was kind of waiting for the blow it moment. Joey never had it. Joey was pretty flawless this entire time.
He was pretty flawless, and something I
have to say, a lovely man.
Yeah,
a lovely
and something that I felt like we talked a little bit about last week, but shows how much of a good person he is.
Yeah,
is like how when people leave, they're not mad.
Yes,
and then they're also like, I'm gonna miss you vibes.
Yes.
So that, you know what I mean? It's
like, I'd love for you to stay in my life energy. That's what I'm
like,
sad
is
about.
there a way where we can be friends forever? Maybe the romantic thing we don't connect on. But like, that's a sign that someone's a really good person is like when they're breaking up with their partner and they're crying and saying how much they mean to each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's a sign that like people were treated with respect.
Even Daisy, when she left.
Oh my gosh. When she left, they were like sobbing. Like he was going away.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like they had to be, they're being torn from each other's arms. Like that's how much love they had for each other. Yes. Where it was like, I wish you the best. I wish you the best. I'm going to miss you. I don't want you to go. Yes. I loved our time together.
There wasn't that like, how dare you not choose me energy.
Yes. What happens?
You know, which I think it speaks to, I'll say two things. It speaks to an incredible lead.
Yes.
An incredible man this season, but it also speaks to the women of this season. There were so many amazing women this season. And, you know, so I think it was a dual thing going on.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I saw when I was diving into the DMs. And now kind of going backwards, as soon as the episode ended, I was like, okay, now I'm going to look back at like some of the spoilers that were announced and all this and see what lines up. One of the things that I saw was that apparently in the last 2 rose ceremonies, was it? At least 2 of the most recent rose ceremonies, that it looked like Joey gave someone else his rose first, like Daisy or someone else, but he actually gave it to Kelsey first every time, or the most recent ones. So I think it was definitely pretty obvious to everyone.
To everyone there.
I mean, even enough to the show to make them edit out the fact that he kept giving Kelsey the first rose.
Well, you'd think
that it was like it was always Kelsey a little bit. Like, of course he really cared and loved Daisy, but that it was like Kelsey was the one. So especially because of that, especially him, you know, saying I'm going to wait until the proposal, and now seeing the fact that he kept giving her the first rose, that it makes it really special that he was like, yeah, I'm going to hold off until I actually propose to this person, you know?
Yeah, because that brings kind of
not hurt other people along the way.
That kind of brings it to the Daisy situation later, where she's like, I saw how they interacted with each other.
Yeah.
During like one of the last couple ceremonies, and like I knew, oh my gosh, no one's doing that with him. They have a special little chemistry. It'd be interesting to talk to him and just say, when was it like pretty concluded in your mind? Unless something, you know what I mean? Like, when was it like? Because some people talk about, I was literally deliberating up until the last day. I wonder for him when it was like, I'm pretty much done here.
I think leads have to be careful when they first come off, because it's, you know, part of like the lore of the show to be like, well, you know, I really was torn until the final decision. And then I think you hear years later, like, leads open up and go, I knew night 1.
Right.
You know, I bet Joey knew pretty soon.
I think so
because
too.
Because even when we think back now, before him and Kelsey even had their first one-on-one, he in ITMs was like, man, there's something about her. I think about her. Like, she caught his eye before we ever even saw them interacting. So I wonder.
Free of drama, never even had an inkling of issues. They had not a
single bump except for the letter,
and then she was trying to be kind of
encouraged to do by producers.
And it was a cute moment. Like, she was trying. It was like, hey, I miss you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't even a letter of like, here's some of my concerns, or here's some like zero. It was the smoothest sailing winner ever. It was just like,
you know what
right
would
to
have
the
been
top.
such a move is, which would have been a horrible move, but it would have been a move, is at the altar, not whatever it is, not the altar, the platform, the proposal platform.
Yeah.
If Joey would have been like, before he proposed, he would have just left a letter there. Like, when she walked down, he's not there, and there's a letter and it just says, we need to talk. Like, that would have been an all-time move.
And then it brings her back to the hotel, and he's like, I just am in love with you. And it's
Will
like,
you
got you. Now you know how it feels.
I think that would have been a little iconic. And also something we would have never seen before.
Another historic moment. You could have. So then Jesse could have been like, there are 2 things that have never been done in this franchise.
Oh my gosh,
before.
trademark again, future leads. Jen, like, do this on the proposal day. Just leave a note, don't be there, and then make it a super drama thing and be like, and then the whole reason is I felt more cozy in my room, and like the lights and like the outdoors were making me feel a little anxious on this big moment. Like, I'd rather just be inside, you know what I mean? But then they can hype it up as like it's never happened before. Like, they proposed inside the hotel room.
At least do the super corny thing where you're like on the altar and you're like, and I just don't think that I can live without you.
Well, they always do that. Actually, you know what? Joey did it. Props to Joey. He continues.
Joey's not a big prankster.
No, he's not. He doesn't like pranks.
He doesn't scream, you know, like.
He hates a prank. He loves a macaroon.
He's a little straightforward like that. He's not going to be doing all sorts of silly jokes, but.
No, but props to him, because once again, he was not the type of guy to do the whole like 1-2 got you moment on the altar where it's like, hey, by the way.
God.
I hate when they do that. So I don't think he did it. Maybe he did. And I was like talking over him.
He was straight.
But it felt just, it was just beautiful and clear cut.
Yes.
Okay. So we meet Joey's family.
Yeah.
And first to meet Joey's family is Daisy. And okay, this is sorry, everybody. I know we're trying to get to the juice, but there was a moment that I started laughing so hard when we were watching last night, because everyone always brings like a gift. So they bring flowers and a gift to the family. And every time I think about it, when I see the gift, number one, I always want to know what's inside the gift, and they never show it. And I'm always so curious. Like, obviously it's producers are probably like, here's a candle to give to one of them, you know, enjoy. But I want to know what's inside, because I think about if I was on the show and if I knew the lead like wasn't my person, I would swing for the fences and try to give myself a moment, and I would bring a gift, but I'd make it some like very weird tchotchke, like some weird box that's like super creepy looking, and like have them open it and then be like, oh, thank you. That's very nice. I'd be like, yeah. And then have new like random moments where I would go up to like dad and in his ear go, do not open that box.
What?
And be like shaking
and
be like,
and just back to it. You're like, anyway, so
randomly like grab mom's wrist and be like, I'm being serious. Don't open the box.
Gosh, it's like so insane. That acting is so over the top.
I love it.
Just, it's like unreal.
You know what I'm visualizing? This is my
when could you do this?
I could do it so easily. It's my Jumanji moment. I have to give it. I have to give it. I've been trapped in a game. I've been trapped in a game for 25 years. I'm finally out.
Trapped in a game, dude.
By the way,
have you ever heard of Jumanji? He's like, yeah, like with like Robin Williams. She's like,
yes. There's an updated version.
This is kind of like that.
I could so easily do that. How many opportunities when you're walking, like, you know, they open the gift, blah, blah, blah. The producers aren't thinking anything. The camera people aren't thinking anything. And all of a sudden, like, I'm having the moment sitting down with the Bachelor's dad, and we're about to walk away, and I randomly grab his arm and go, trust me. Don't open it.
God, it's so dramatic. I mean, it's so over the top. It's so over the top because it's like, because you have to wind up to that. You know what I mean? Like in reality, is you'd be sitting there going, yeah, totally. What's so nice? You know what I mean? Like, it'd have to be more subtle. It'd have to be like, just do me a favor. Do not open the box, please.
No, but Evan,
you have to
your
be like,
version.
Yeah, oh my God, he was so nice meeting you. It's like, where's the, like, you do like flip on the switch and you're like, you're already like falling off the cliff at the end of the movie.
But that's what makes it so much more exciting and also horrifying for the family. Imagine.
Yeah, I would be like, get this unstable person out of here. Like, dude, I don't know what's going on. Producers, is everything okay? Is this how she normally is? The last thing I'd be concerned about is the box. I'd be like, Joey, I'm sure you have a great connection with this person. This person is unhinged. They're giving me little tchotchkes that they bought, like, and they're choking on their words in fear. Like, clearly this person is like, you have to do it way more subtle, and then it'd be more terrifying. But you just go, oh my God, it's like, it's so.
Okay, then what'd you
insane.
say? I do it subtly. I go,
yeah.
By the way, I wouldn't open the box.
Yeah. See, that's a lot more like, what?
And then you turn around.
Yeah, and then you leave. And it's like,
Okay,
what?
but
What do you mean?
But either way,
no, that
imagine that. Imagine being the parents, the family, and one person comes in. Think about it. If you're on this show, please listen to me and someone do this. You always present a gift, and there has to be people who have been on this show before who are in the top 2 who know it's not their person and they're hoping to be the next Bachelor or Bachelorette. Please do this. That would be so wild. Think of the twist if they decided to include that. They'd be like, what the fuck is going on with this box? It's just like, all of a sudden someone who's been super just chill the whole time is just like, I wouldn't open the box.
Yeah.
Like, that's terrifying. Come on now.
That
made me laugh to myself. I know it's so stupid, but every time I see it, I don't think I've ever talked about it. Every time I see them with the bag, I think, God, that's what I would do. I would try to I'm going to add, because you got to have fun with this show.
Yeah.
How stressful is this show? You have to make yourself laugh and terrify your future in-laws.
Yeah.
It's also something if then the person did choose you, talk about with your in-laws for the rest of your life.
That's very true.
You know what I mean?
That's very true.
Or you hold on to the joke and you keep it going.
Yeah.
So when like you see your in-laws next time, you're like, where did you put the box? After the rose, you're like, what did you do with the box I gave you? And they're like, oh, we left it in Tulum, I'd be like, you
That was a bad idea.
You left the box? You left the box. Okay. Sure. Yeah, no, it's gonna be fine. No worries. And
Sure.
start just unwinding.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
You guys give it to me. You guys.
I'll keep going until you give it to me, and I know the audience does not want that. They don't want any more of this. But
You go back to the acting. You're just like, yeah. There's the day. You didn't leave it, did you?
There has to be a box in the next D&D session.
Oh,
Please don't
speaking
entertain
of,
this.
everybody, tune in next week for some D&D. Tune in next week for some D&D. I know this is not the right way to then be introducing what we're doing in the future, but next week we got some D&D. We're also going to be getting into some reality TV. Please send us DMs, messages about what specific reality TV you'd love to see us dive into. But
Yes.
of course, we're quite interested in diving into Vanderpump Villa,
Wanna
which I
check that out.
believe starts next week. So we're going to have to check that out.
We're gonna check it out.
And be talking about that. So maybe you
Yes.
should tune into that too. But send us messages what you'd love us to cover. But D&D next week, okay? We've been
Yes.
promising it. And I'm going to say this for everyone listening who did not watch our last D&D episode, not to toot our own horns. It was not our most watched. It was not our most watched episode, but we have not. It's the most comments we've ever received.
Yeah, like the most DMs, the most people being like,
And the
oh
most
my God, we
people
loved
saying
it.
this was the best episode you guys have ever put out, and so many people saying I wasn't gonna watch
So
this.
give it
I
a
don't do
shot.
D&D. I promise you, it was our most fun episode in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tune in,
Yes.
and I'll put it in the episode notes, our last episode, so you can like get a feel for it. Watch that, then watch the one next week.
Super fun.
Anywho, there'll be a box. I like that.
Be a box.
My box. I'll finally be able to use my box.
She will make it known.
Finally. Okay, we gotta take another quick pause before we get into Daisy meeting the family. We're gonna figure out a way to make this 2 hours, people. You know what I mean?
Every
It
time
was
we
a
come in here, we
3-hour-long
go, we
finale.
should do it like not so long. It's like, yeah. And then we'll talk for 30 minutes about like, don't open the box. We can't help ourselves.
But family, listen. Hey, you know what I always think about? Something else I always think about when I watch this show. How hot everyone has to be at that final rose ceremony at the proposal deck. Like, think about Joey in the full suit in the sun. On top of it, the nerves, the sweating, all of this.
The lights too.
The lights, exactly.
You're like in the sun. It's 90 degrees, and then they have like beams on you.
The
You get
beams on
cooked.
you, 100%. Also, the tears coming out. The man, Joey, needs to hydrate. The man needs to be hydrating. And I have the best way for him to hydrate. Of course, it is Liquid IV. Duh. Whether you hydrate to live or live to hydrate, Liquid IV quenches your thirst faster than water alone. You all know that Liquid IV has helped Evan over here on his journey to become a hydrated king. I mean, with 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drinks, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness, all in a single sugar-free stick, Liquid IV is it. In fact, both of us actually currently have our Liquid IV right here. We're both drinking.
Cheers.
We're both drinking our current favorite flavors. So I say, what about we do a little switcheroo and see if we can guess which flavor is each other's favorite
Okay, here.
and what we're drinking. Okay. If you get this wrong, I'm going to judge you.
Already have it.
What is it?
White peach.
It's my
It's the peach one.
The white peach right now. It is so delicious.
It tastes like a summer day at the beach.
It,
It literally just tastes
perfect
like
description.
that.
And
Yeah.
it's just hydrating. Oh man, I could chug it all day long, and I do.
This is
And-
actually making me really want to go to the beach right now.
Don't drink all of mine, okay? Your favorite flavor right here. I already know what it is before I'm taking
You
a
can smell
sip.
it.
I didn't even need to smell it because you're always a lemon lime guy.
It's true, but to be honest with you, this might
The
be
white
switching up.
peach?
This is really good. Yeah.
But the lemon lime's so good too. Lemon lime, it's so refreshing. All right, give me my white
okay,
peach back.
sorry.
Also, I really like the green grape. Ooh, that one's
Oh
so
yeah,
good.
that one is good.
So good.
One of my favorite things about Liquid IV is the convenient packaging. They make it so easy with the one stick and 16 ounces of water. I have Liquid IV sticks with me everywhere. Gym bag, work bag, pockets, their glove compartments. I have them everywhere. They're amazing.
I always have them on me. Honestly, there is nothing better than Liquid IV after a long night out. So just as a heads up, I will be stocking up on them for festival season coming up here. Okay. They always are game changers. And again, no artificial sweeteners and zero sugar and non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. It's the best. However you hydrate, grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier, sugar-free in bulk nationwide at Costco, or get 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MOMDAD at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MOMDAD at liquidiv.com. Okay, so
Family
meets Daisy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it goes as well as it could go.
Yeah, like I was like, if there's deliberating at all, like I was, man, like Kelsey better come with the heat because that went about as good. When she had everyone crying, I was like, okay, she killed it.
Oh, the whole family was starting to tear up when Daisy was talking about how much Joey means to her. And she had that moment with his sisters. And when they were asking like how sure she is of them
choose
being
him
together
every day.
I mean, she gave a full rom-com.
That was
the Christmas Tree Queen gave a full rom-com speech. It was I was choosing him every day for the rest of my life. She wants them to really know how dedicated she is to him. I mean, it's everything, a family member would want to hear.
Well, it was weird to me. It wasn't weird to me, but it was interesting to me because it was like up until this moment, I was like, wait, where's this coming from a little bit? Like, she's always been, I felt like the chill, not showing a ton, not saying a lot about where she's at.
Yeah.
She was even kind of panicking about the fact that she hadn't really told him she loved him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of like, and then all of a sudden, maybe just the fear of losing him kind of hit.
Well,
because I was all of a sudden like Waterworks, and I'll choose him every day, and he's the love of my life. And I was kind of going, where has this been like up until now?
Well, I think a big thing too is that, we saw the shift after he met her family. That was her big thing. And she was like, I don't know. And then after her parents were like, go for it. And you're normally so much more open. You should open up more. That seemed to be the game changer for her. Because remember Fantasy Suites, after Sandra's advice, she was like, hello, Joey.
Yeah.
And they were smoochy, lovey-dovey for the entire time. And they like declared feelings for each other.
Yeah.
So it definitely seems like that gauge hit.
Yeah.
And it was open. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh. And like you said, then all of a sudden the fear too was connected to, oh my gosh, there's someone else here.
Yeah, she really got hit with that. We hadn't seen that side of her. She's been cool, calm, and collected the entire show. And then, it was kind of this, and then the what do you call it? Like Sweat Lodge.
Yes.
That like we're seeing like a whole new side of Daisy, which is kind of meltdown Daisy / really emotional Daisy.
Well, it's interesting too, because again, you wonder how obvious it was from her perspective that Kelsey was it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like
that's
maybe
true.
it was so clear he's been giving Kelsey the first rose every single time. Maybe their chemistry was so intense that it was literally like, it almost felt like third wheeling it to a certain degree, where you're kind of like, I can tell you guys are so into each other. Like, what am I doing here? Like,
I know
you mean, I mean a lot to you, but like clearly this is your person. Because on the flip side, we had Kelsey have that moment after talking to Leslie with Fantasy Suites being like, I feel nervous. What if it's not me? But then she didn't even really talk to Joey about that when she gave him the letter. She was just like, I missed you. Yeah. We really, at least from what we saw, didn't see Kelsey break a sweat. She seemed pretty sure, even to the moment.
Except at the end, I feel like she started to feel the weight a little bit. But you're right in that. Like I felt like her confidence was like. I was wondering, like, is she this confident, or is this just who she is? And she kind of goes with the punches. I will say, we'll get into her, but
But
Daisy,
even to the moment when Daisy came in the room and was like, and came in Kelsey's room, Kelsey didn't even ever.
Kelsey's like, get in here.
No, but I'm saying even with but even when she said, she was like, she was coasting, being like, it went really well. I feel good. And I'm like, dang, it must have been like, they must have been pretty clearly locked, at least in the later few weeks,
Yeah.
But anywho, Daisy and Joey's mom end up having a conversation where Joey's mom, which I right away looked at you and I said, I loved this about Joey's mom. I loved that Joey's mom didn't say, so what about my son makes you, fall in, or what about
Yeah,
my
right,
son
right.
made you love him? She says, I want to know what makes you unique.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love that. It wasn't just the stereotypical, okay, sing the praises of my child. I don't give a shit about you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit like, I want to find out more about you. You know, I love that.
I wouldn't have been ready for that.
I wouldn't have either. I would have
Like,
had, I would have had ready.
me? I don't know. I mean,
God, he loves to walk on the beach.
I hang out with my kid a lot, my wife. We podcast. So whenever I'm not doing that, I'm gonna be with Joey. That makes me me. Like, oh, this is new information. But yeah, the what makes you thing is an
It's true.
interesting.
I
Like, wait,
probably
is this,
wouldn't have
you're like,
been
wait,
ready.
it's kind of a job interview.
Actually, when I think
I work
about
too
that,
hard. I care too much.
what would you say? What makes you you?
I mean, honestly, when you say that, I feel so average. You know what I mean? Like I feel like such just a normal person.
It kind of is like
what makes me? I don't know. I like normal stuff.
it kind of is a power move question.
Yeah.
To like look at someone and be like, what makes you unique?
Yeah.
Oh, a little jarring.
Do I have to be unique? Or
Yeah,
can
is
I just
being
be the
unique.
average Joe that Joey
You got
dreamed
a
of?
problem. You got a problem with someone who's not unique.
You know what? You know what I'd be like? I'd be
I'm
like this.
basic as fuck.
You know, uniqueness. You know, probably some issues with being too unique. You know, you're gonna have some ups and downs. You know what you want is you want solid, and that's me.
Basic and solid.
I am Gibraltar. I am rock solid, baby. All this unique, floaty stuff. You know, that's hard to pin down. What you want is predictable.
You always know where they're gonna blow.
You always know.
But I felt like Daisy did a great job of like she answered it quick.
Yeah.
And she was talking about like who she is and how she interacts with people who she loves. And I felt like it was a good segue too into like her relationship with Joey and like, hey, I can have boundaries up and walls up right now because I've gotten hurt, etc. And then his mom, literally, after Daisy starts crying, saying how sure she is that Joey is her guy. Mom starts crying and says, I would be honored to have you as a daughter-in-law.
The second I saw
I'd
that,
be
I was like,
honored
well,
to have you as a daughter-in-law. And she's like, but I want what's best for you, honey.
yeah.
She's like, I want what's best for you. And then I hope that
Yeah.
that's Joey, essentially.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, damn. Gary's in the audience crying. Like, it was, I mean, it was an intense moment. And I was
Yeah.
like, I felt the chills all over.
I felt the chills, but I am blown away by Gary because it's like he doesn't know any of these people and he's bawling in studio.
Well, that's because he's in touch with his
But
emotions.
my
king.
God, that guy can cry. I mean, to
He
be
really can.
in the studio
Mm-hmm.
in front of everyone, and you're going to know the camera's on you because
Yeah.
it's right there.
Yeah.
And be watching this on a big screen in front of all these people and then be like, I'm so in touch with my emotions. I'm going to cry about
Yeah.
these people I don't even know.
How did
Wild.
that make you feel?
I didn't even understand it. I was just like,
Did it make you feel like you need to kind of do a little more digging
it
internally?
does it make me feel insecure? Yeah, sure. but incredibly raw. That connection was incredibly raw.
So raw.
Yeah.
And they wrap up by having a Mac session, but I did write, he started to seem hesitant to me here, where I could see it. For the first time, I felt like he's been pretty flowing between Daisy and Kelsey, but he seemed a little more not like, oh my God, that was amazing. Like they're making out, but it's when Joey starts to not smile as much. It's when the smiles become no teeth. He goes from this to this.
Yeah, kind of.
And when this happens, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
And he was starting to do this with her. He was like,
So it's like,
I'm so glad that it went so great
anymore,
with my family.
You're a good bud.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
And I noticed when he was talking to his sisters, when he was having the fam time with Daisy, that the conversation was very much like, oh yeah, I feel a lot of stress about having to hurt someone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like,
It wasn't
isn't she
yeah.
incredible? It was like, yeah, I know. Isn't it intense? They're so amazing. Like, isn't she amazing? They're both so amazing. It's going to be so hard to hurt somebody. I was a little bit like, okay.
And I think also he was probably feeling the weight of, wow, my family really likes her.
Totally.
Which made it even more intense.
I know.
So the mom's coming up going like, she's incredible. Those sisters are going, oh my God, I've never met someone so amazing. And she's going, oh shit. You know what I mean?
I know.
So I think he was feeling the weight even more the more they talk.
Of course, 1,000%. But then Kelsey meets the family, and he right away says that he feels so much better when Kelsey is there. I noticed that Kelsey and his mom are matching. I'm like, mirroring. I think that Kelsey is a master of wardrobe. And let me tell you why. Because whenever she's alone with Joey, the past few episodes, she wears white. Which, like I said before, you said you don't think it works, but I think it's subliminal messaging to being like, I will marry you, I will marry you. And then I know there's no way she would know this, but the fact that she's mirroring mom when meeting her, I don't know, a genius of wardrobe mastery.
Interesting.
The psychology of wardrobe.
So you think that she maybe made friends with one of the stylists?
What do you mean?
How did she know what mom was going to wear?
I don't know.
I guess probably when you
secret
reach
cameras.
Yeah, when you reach a certain level of
hallway cameras.
Like this one small detail.
She put a little tiny camera on Joey's lapel weeks ago, and he's never taken it off.
Got it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The white is interesting because what I will say it would do is, I don't know for me if it would signal wedding, but it would signal kind of like a
jolt.
Neurological, like poof, there she is.
Yeah.
You know, if everyone else is dressed in colors and different things, and all of a sudden every time it's white.
Yeah.
There is this.
There is something to actually going on this show and picking a signature color and wearing that color from the first date when you walk out of the limo. Let's just say you choose hot pink. I know that's a bright one to choose, but hot pink. Then for the rest of your time there, you always have at least something hot pink on, so that the lead kind of is like, I always remember you. When you start with a lot of people, I think there's something kind of to be said. Am I coming up with some great ideas this episode? Am I just
You're coming up with some great ideas for sure.
Spot on.
But I like.
I think I need affirmation today. Okay, I'm feeling like I need affirmation today.
Babe, the idea that you just came up with, the colors, is so groundbreaking.
Thank you.
And incredible. And I just want to say we're lucky to be here to witness it.
I appreciate that.
And we love you.
Thank you.
And there's nothing you could ever do.
Also for the branding of it all, right?
Yeah.
So then like you have on your Instagram that like your backgrounds are always that color, like for your new audience that's engaging with you. And like that's kind of your selling, like you always have that branding.
Yeah.
And then you can change your last name to that color.
Yeah. Dude. You know what I do like about this though is I'm the tangent person.
Yeah.
And you're big tangent vibes today,
I
which I love.
I don't know why. I'm sorry.
I'm always the derailer, and you're the derailer today. And I think that's what it is it's more alarming. Like we've never experienced this before.
You know what
it's
it
like
is?
I'm the chaos
Can
creator.
I tell you what
and
it is?
you're
It's because we've had spring break. It's been a few days of spring break for our daughter, and her and I have been spending
you're talking like Ember right now. You're talking like Ember just like it's so like boom, bang, 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 boom, random.
I've been with her 24/7.
Yeah, you guys are turning into each
Evan's
other.
been super, super busy working, so it's just been her and me just like 24/7. We've been having so much fun. We've just been talking nonstop, staying up late, chit-chatting. And so I have that like Ember on my brain. So I'm like, ooh, exciting. And it's like, look, a bird. Like, you know. Sorry, everybody.
That's so funny. I love it.
Anyway, so Kelsey meets the family and it goes well.
Yeah, it totally does.
Again, she wipes off that macaroon crumb. Mom is like, oh gosh, here we go. Yeah. She shares about the fact that she brought a voodoo doll of Joey.
Yes.
And now I remember, I'm like, oh my God, that's how she entered this competition is with a voodoo doll. And she's
which is funny because it doesn't seem like a Kelsey thing.
No, it doesn't.
Like, she doesn't seem like that vibe.
No.
But it's funny because I totally forgot she did that.
But I think she like kissed the voodoo doll.
Well, that was the whole thing.
It's like sweet.
But part of me feels almost like, it was just a funny move, but I thought it was very sweet. My thing with the family is I felt a little bit like Kelsey did as amazing as anyone could possibly do.
Yeah.
But I do feel like she was put in a awkward position where they've already cried before. And once you cry, I feel like you're kind of emotionally exhausted, a little spent. So if you've already cried multiple times and had this like extremely deep emotional one-on-one with this person, obviously they probably had nerves too going into it. So there's probably this like, I'm anxious to meet these women, and then you have this emotional letdown of like everything's good. Then Kelsey was in a position almost where like she had to win them back. I almost felt like, because they would be like probably just emotionally attached to Daisy.
Totally.
So but being that being said, it was like, did incredible.
I want to touch on the crying, specifically with Kelsey, but we have to take another quick pause. Family. I think we shared a little while back that Evan and I made a pact that we were going to really slow down on the takeout food ordering and eat from home more. But here's the thing. You all know I'm no cook, but I would still like to eat healthy, delicious meals. So I'm so glad we found Factor. Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted and ready to go in just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It's like honey to my ears. And family, hear me when I tell you, Factor meals are the most delicious meals I've had, okay? Like superb restaurant quality. Like my mouth is watering thinking about them right now. They have the best meals. I don't know how to say this without sounding like a child, but I am not a big vegetable girl, okay? I don't like eating my veggies, but when I eat Factor, I devour my veggies because they make them so delicious and yummy. So thank you so much for Factor for getting me to eat my vegetables. I needed them and I appreciate you.
With Factor, you'll have over 35 different options to choose from every week, including Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Also, there's more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day. Factor really is the perfect solution if you're looking for fast, premium options with no cooking required, and it's flexible for your schedule. Get as much or as little as you need by choosing your meals every single week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime, which is really nice.
Yeah, and again, the deliciousness and variety. Discover a wide variety of easy options for the entire day, like breakfast, midday bites, and more. I'm talking pancakes, smoothies, and beyond. Oh my gosh, do not get me started on their pancakes with the cinnamon butter, okay? Do not even get me started. By the way, I just tried their spicy sweet potatoes for dinner the other day, and I need them right now. Okay, I need them for dinner tonight. Factor, it's the best.
Yes, it's so good.
So delicious. No prep, no mess meals. Factor meals are ready to heat and eat, so there's no prepping, cooking, or cleanup needed. Head to factormeals.com/momdad50 and use code MOMDAD50 to get 50% off. That's code MOMDAD50 at factormeals.com/momdad50 to get 50% off. 50% off is a great deal. Take advantage of that. I'm telling you, Factor is so good. Factormeals.com/momdad50. Okay, so what I was going to say about Kelsey is that she has been a crier this entire series.
Yes.
She is so in touch with her emotions. She is our crier. This specific episode, she cried so much during meeting the family. And what I was thinking is something that I really value about Kelsey, just as a viewer, is that she was sobbing, talking about things and being vulnerable with his family. And they weren't sobbing back. And yet she continued to just really put it all out there. Daisy was being super emotional too, but Kelsey it's how she does it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that. I'm like, if I'm sitting meeting a family for the first time and I'm expected to be vulnerable, I don't think I'd be able to do that. I would be tight. I'd be like, here's a little bit nugget. I'll share it with your kid because I am in love with your kid. But you guys, I don't really know yet. I'm going to be a little more tight-lipped. But she was and then again, to not have it, Joey's family wasn't being rude in any way, but they were not oh my God, we're holding your hand and bawling with you. So it wasn't oh, we have this symbiosis going. And she just kept going through and crying.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of admiration for her. But here was the one thing that went down with Kelsey. And it was kind of what the show led us to believe was maybe the Kelsey hiccup is that his sisters then ask her, are you ready for marriage? And she's essentially kind of yeah. I'm not so much married to the idea of marriage. It's more the person. But yeah, I'm ready. And I personally thought the way she answered that, I liked the answer because I felt like she made it less about hey, by the way, I want to let you sisters know I didn't come here and I wasn't I'm just going to get married because I want to get married. It's the person on the other end and I want to be with your brother, but I'm not oh, I just want to get married. That was what I got from that.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Because we always got to think about the fact that listen, when you get engaged, that does not mean you're ready for marriage right then.
Right.
It means that you're ready to take the next step with this person to get to the marriage situation.
Right.
That's why people stay engaged sometimes for 6 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or some people just never get married.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it doesn't mean that like you're ready to get married right away. It means that I'm ready to kind of lock this into a more permanent position. And especially, you know, for people going on this show, the engagement basically means, are you ready to be my girlfriend?
Yeah, are you ready to be in a committed relationship?
Because before that, I knew you for 10 minutes. And
Yes.
so now it's like, should we date?
Yeah.
That's
You wanna
what
date
this
or not?
ring means. Yeah. So I love that she kind of like says this thing where she's like, it's not about marriage for me, it's about the person. And I'll, you know, yeah, of course I'm ready to get married. Maybe not tomorrow, but like whatever. But it's not obviously the company line, or not the company line, but the perfect line that Daisy, you know, which is like, I'll choose him every day for always and always. And I was like, that felt a little bit to me like panic. Like I'm really selling. I want them to know that I'm amazing and that I love him a lot.
Yeah, I want them
But
to
like,
know I
let's
really
be
care
real.
about
if
their
he
son.
said, cool, okay, let's get married tomorrow, would you be down? It's like, I doubt Daisy would be down. You know what I mean?
Right.
No
I
one
hear
is.
you. Yeah.
So that's, you know, I felt like she answered it so honestly, but you know, sometimes that pure honesty can get you. People can be like, wait a second, do you not mean that you love me?
So the sisters right away then went to Joey and they're like, here's the thing, like, you know, both of the women are lovely, but definitely Kelsey seemed a little hesitant. And, you know, Joey was kind of like... In comparison.
Yes.
And Joey, I felt like that was kind of making a mountain out of a molehill, but of course you have to harp on something. So it's like, I'm not blaming his sisters for that, but you know, that was, it's like, yeah, when you're comparing two amazing people, it's like, okay, well, this person seems maybe a little more like for sure, I guess.
And
in
especially
the conversation.
if you know your brother's biggest fear is someone will leave you.
True, very
and
true.
You have two girls and one goes, I'll choose him every day and ride to the ends of the earth on a horseback with him. And then the other one was like, yeah, I'm ready. You know, I'm not like, you know, we're figuring it out.
Right.
Then it feels huge.
Right. I mean, Kelsey said things other than that, but
what I'm saying
like,
is that they, you know, it's going to feel up against the other one.
Of course.
Massively not as, you know, into it. So.
100%. So Joey hears that. He seems a little bit like, oh, but it doesn't seem to really affect him. I think at this point, he for sure knows that it's going to be Kelsey.
Yeah.
I think, because I feel like if he wouldn't have known that.
He's like crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he kind of let it roll off. He's like, thanks for bringing that up.
Past Joey would have been like.
He would have been rattled. He would have been like this. I don't know if I can. I just don't know if I can.
Like,
do this
he might have
anymore.
quit the show.
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? And so the fact that didn't rattle him, I was like, I don't know. I'm like, have they talked off camera about like that they're going to be together? I don't know. It definitely felt like he was like, because especially after last week with the note, it scared him so much.
Yes.
That then hearing that, I'd think he'd be like a puddle on the floor, like, you know, tapioca pudding just
with
over
macaroons
the floor.
everywhere. And
Just
I
on the
agree
floor.
though. I agree because that show his reaction to that letter fucked him up so bad.
Yeah.
That it showed. Okay, she's the one. Almost.
But also,
you know what I mean? Like
that reaction, hearing from his sisters, she seemed a little hesitant. I think would again make him full tapioca pudding all over the floor.
Yeah.
But instead, he kind of was like, "Oh, it's a little nerve wracking."
Yeah.
Which makes me think, I'm like, maybe they talked.
Ooh.
Maybe they privately talked. Maybe she sent him another secret letter and was like, "This letter is not so scary. Like, circle yes or no if you're choosing me." And he circled yes, type vibes. You know, I don't know. Theories.
You know. I want to talk about the dates at some point about this.
Yeah, let's talk about the dates. But I do want to say this quick too.
Yeah.
The other thing that Kelsey had up against her is that both Joey's mom and dad sat her down and were like, just FYI, it might not be you.
Yeah, it was weird kind of. Like there was
I'm sure it was editing, but it was like, it might not be you. They were like, I want you to know my son was so positive that Charity was the one and that he was the one for Charity.
Yeah.
And he was positive Charity was picking him.
Yeah.
And Charity ended up not picking him. So that might also be you.
Yeah.
And it was like,
okay.
oh my
Jesus.
God.
Also, the mom at one point was like,
It's rattling.
has never been in love with someone more than Charity. Charity was his world. And he worshiped the ground she walked.
She said that?
Yeah, she like went on about how much he loved Charity.
Really?
Yeah,
Why did I miss that?
And then I'm kind of sitting here going like, okay, like if I was her, I'd be like, okay, I get it. Like
You're like, I'm getting a little jealous now.
I'm the backup now. I understand. No, I'm just kidding. But like, you know, like I understand Charity was like the one, and it was not the one.
By the way, I do want to say this. Another DM that I received from numerous members of the family. Apparently, a few episodes ago, when Joey was like, I lost out on the love of my life, and it was devastating, and apparently in an interview, he was talking about an ex-girlfriend. It wasn't Charity.
Oh, interesting.
Obviously, he was like in love with Charity, but the one that he was talking about that like just like absolutely destroyed him, I guess,
was not Charity.
Another individual who he had dated, and they made it kind of cut like that way.
Interesting.
Like I said, again, obviously he'd had deep feelings for Charity.
But mom kind of ratted him out by being like, yeah, he came home and he's like, I'm the one. I was like, oh, dude, I would have been pissed at my mom if she said that on TV. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Mom, I said that to you in a chill way. You're making me look like...
Like, yeah, there's no way it's not me,
she
baby.
caught one look at me and it was over.
But yeah, I couldn't believe that his parents were like, yeah, by the way, you might be gone. So Kelsey was getting it potentially from different angles.
Yeah.
It might have been a little tough for her. And she seemed very sure. Like she was not getting rattled.
Zero.
Anyway, so then we end up having the final one-on-one date with each woman, and we have Daisy's date.
Yeah.
And that is when Daisy,
begins.
the unraveling of Daisy. They decide to set them up with a spiritual cleansing experience in a sweat lodge.
Yeah.
And I was just saying, I looked at Evan and I go, doing a sweat lodge with someone would be so intense. Like doing a sweat lodge with you as my partner for like 20 years would be a really beautiful experience together, because all of it would like break me down. I'd be like reliving like inner child stuff, and like, all of the emotion is pouring out of my pores, and that's that moment together, and you have like a very like powerful moment together. But to truly barely know someone and your date together is a sweat lodge, I've never really thought about it. I'm like, that's a really intense date to have. And to be like, here, I'm gonna get so vulnerable, like, and just expose myself. Yeah. No.
Also, like just the environment itself, like you're sweating profusely. You're trying to calm yourself down
you're
from having an
uncomfortable,
anxiety attack because you're like baking. Yeah, and then you got like Kelsey with the massage table, and they're all like lotioned and just like having this like incredible experience. It's like, yeah, I want that one. I don't want the one where I'm like, okay, don't freak out. I'm like, so hot right now.
You're also like when you're claustrophobic, if you're like claustrophobic at all or anxious with like high heat. Yeah.
Like you said, I'd love to go to one of those, but it's not like
with my partner for 20 years, but not of someone that I barely know.
Like I'm connected, it's screaming like, okay, I'm like in my own zone thinking about my life. And stuff.
I'll take the massage table where we're like actually able to chit chat with each other. And Daisy says, she's like, I'm frustrated because I wanted to talk with him. And she starts to like, it's almost like the heat hits her too. It's like the heat and the anxiety of the situation. And you see in her eyes where it's like, it's almost like she astral projected in that sweat lodge to the future and was like, it's not me.
Yes.
I think honestly, now that I'm really thinking about it, I think the sweat lodge like genuinely gave her clarity.
Whoa.
Like think about it. I think the sweat lodge, because she was like, after meeting the family, it's like, I'm sobbing, we're good, this is my person, they're making out, and then she sits in that sweat lodge, and it's almost like in that spiritual cleansing, it gave her clarity, and it was like, oh my God, it's not me, because you watched her eyes shift, and it's like, it's not me.
It is interesting. Kind of realize.
Yeah. Like that was her spiritual moment.
Right? You're still sitting in it. You're still on the date. You're still having to go to dinner.
You're still having to process it. And honestly, you still are sweating it out for however many hours after. It's literally almost like she had a spiritual like moment where it's like, oh, this is what I have to do. And it started the process.
Yeah.
Wowzers. Absolutely wowzers. But she is feeling very emotionally heavy. Yeah. And they end the date on like a tense note. He's like, are you okay? And they're expressing themselves, and she's struggling, and he's having to comfort her. They get to the night portion, which, by the way, every time, this is another thing, when I watch this, I think about this every single time. If I would be on this show, every time they have the final night portion, they have the contestants lighting candles when the lead comes in, and they're going to have their final moment together. It's not a fantasy suite, so it's not overnight, but it's always cozy. I'm like, if I was one of those people, fully naked when I open the door. So they have to black box me.
And you're just like, oh, is it now? Or are you like presenting?
No, I'm just like, oh, something.
She's got a cigarette. Oh, is it now? And you're just fully naked. And he's like, what?
Something
like,
you should know about me is like,
this is how I was.
I'm just always naked, which is so not me, by the way. I'm the opposite. but like something about me is I'm always clothed.
You're just like, what? And you're just like, putting it out. You got like 50 cigarettes in there because you've just been chilling naked for like hours, just smoking and chilling. You got wine, and you're just like, oh, sorry, I just forget I'm always naked.
Oh my God, I'm always nude. What can I say?
Or you're like, oh, like you open it up and you're on a treadmill naked. And you're like,
I think though the best move
here.
is that you open it. They have to like fuzz you out. And you never address it. That's the best move. No words. Then you're like, come on in. And you're like, do you want a glass of champagne? And you're sitting on the couch. Like,
butt naked.
Fully naked.
But with like shoes on and like, or something. And you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. But
and it'd be funny too, because then like, you already had the fantasy suite together. So you guys might already been intimate. And then you weren't nude the whole time there. Like you just, you had your intimate moment, but then you had the little lingerie. But then for some reason in this moment, you just open the door for your final romantic moment, not sex moment together, not sexy moment. But you're just fully nude.
Yeah.
Again, I just,
I mean, again, you guys can take these and do with them as you please.
I mean, I actually don't recommend that because it's not like the legality, just maybe don't. I don't know.
Yeah. But I do love the idea of just kind of like almost presenting an entirely different side of the person that they thought
just
they knew.
Right before they're about to choose you. So it totally throws them off.
Yeah.
They're like, oh.
Yeah, that would be weird. Also, just side note, walking around naked would be like, you ever walk around naked very often?
Never.
Yeah, it's a very like, I'll do it every once in a while.
I wish I was a naked person.
No, but I'll do it every once in a while. Like, well, like let's say I take a shower and then I need to grab something from the kitchen or something. I'll kind of like just walk or whatever.
Yeah, when you're alone at home.
Yeah, when I'm alone at home, obviously. It's not a vibe.
I know.
It's not a vibe,
for me.
dude. Like
It's not
people
for
that
me.
do that a lot blow my mind.
Yeah.
People that are just kind of like, oh yeah, just kind of walking around naked and kind of. It's like. It's very like, I don't know. You feel the air everywhere. It's like, I like at least a little something.
Yeah. I prefer 4 to 5 layers.
Right.
24/7,
Right.
always.
But the full nude just cruising around.
I can't. I
Wild.
wish that that was my energy. I think that people who are like the nudes who are just like floating around are so cool.
I could get into it more outside because it's like the sun and I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
The inside feels very not natural to me to be naked in the inside for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Not
Could
for
never
me.
be.
Anyway.
So sorry. Anyway, so back to Daisy.
Yeah.
She ends up telling Joey that he's changed her life. She then tells him that she loves him.
Yes.
And guess what? He smiles with no teeth.
Wow, that's interesting you brought that up.
He
The no teeth
smiles
smile
with
thing
no
is
teeth.
truly
And that is-
that sign. That's his tell.
I'm telling you, it's Joey's tell.
If you're playing poker with Joey and he doesn't smile with his teeth, you know he has nothing.
1,000%. And you know if you get a smile from Joey with no teeth, it's the curse. You're going.
You're gone.
You're going next. And she said, I love you. And he looks at her and he does this.
He didn't.
No teeth?
Not even, no teeth. He was smiling with no teeth before.
Uh-huh.
She says, I love you.
Yeah.
Not even a blink.
No.
We know he doesn't blink.
He doesn't blink in general, so that wasn't too shocking.
You know what it felt like? It felt like he knew it was coming.
Yeah, he
and
was
he's
preparing.
dreading it.
Yeah.
He was dreading the fact that she's going to tell me she loves me, and it's going to suck because I already know I'm not choosing her.
Yeah.
And he did what I only refer to as breaking up with someone without saying we're broken up.
Oh, 1,000%. Let's talk about his breakup in one moment, but we have one final pause. Family. Here's the fact of the matter. If I was one of those final ladies, okay, either of them, I would be so sweaty, so nervous on that proposal platform. I'd definitely be stinky. Truth is, I've talked about this in the last year. As I've gotten older, I have gotten stinkier. Okay, I'm not too proud to say it. But actually, I'm not stinky anymore. I'm not stinky anymore because of Lumi deodorant. Unlike certain other deodorants, Lumi whole body deodorant is powered by mandelic acid to deliver outrageous 72-hour odor control everywhere from your pits to your feet. And yes, even the downstairs regions. In fact, it was patients' concerns about private part odor that originally inspired the OBGYN who invented Lumi. Fast forward 6 years and her game-changing whole body deo has now earned over 300,000 5-star reviews from people like myself. By the way, today, special offer, new customers get $5 off Lumi's starter pack with code MOMDAD at LumiDeodorant.com.
Lumi is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. How? Unlike certain traditional deodorants that try to mask odor with like a fragrance, Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. More like a pre-odorant. It's baking soda free and paraben free and pH balanced for safe use below the belt too, which is really nice. You can choose from a variety of fresh, bright scents like clean tangerine, lavender sage, or toasted coconut, a personal favorite of mine.
I was going to say I'm a toasted coconut
I'm a
gal
coconut
myself.
fan, yes.
Toasted coconut gal myself. I use Lumi all over, specifically in the pits, the underboob, the thigh folds, and yes, the feet. I love it on the feet, okay? Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant. I love the cream tube deodorant. 2 free products of your choice and free shipping. Again, as a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi starter pack with code MOMDAD at LumiDeodorant.com. That equates to over 40% of your starter pack when you visit LumiDeodorant.com and use code MOMDAD. Okay, so back to the Daisy Joey situation. So you are saying Joey gives her a essentially pre-breakup speech.
Yeah, like if I said, I love you so much, and then you told me that it's been an honor meeting me. It's not really the vibe. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's been an honor meeting me. That your biggest fear is having to let someone down.
Yeah.
And that the idea
not what you want to hear.
You're like, what? I just told you I loved you, and you're telling me how much you hate having to do this and having to break people's hearts.
Yes.
And it's been an honor meeting me, and that you really appreciated everything we've had together. Like, why are you using so much past tense?
And also, but you're like, enough with the past tense. Also, he then brings up, he pulls at his mom and dad and brings up how confident he was about Charity. He's like, just FYI, remember my Charity story.
Yeah.
I thought it was me and it wasn't. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, he's basically, listen.
He broke up with her.
I am not allowed to break up with you right now
Yes.
because, I have signed a contract.
Yes.
But so let me give you the next best thing by just telling you we're broken up.
I think what he did, and I appreciate him for it as a viewer, and I'm sure she appreciates it as well, is it seems like probably he did not have the flexibility, let's say, to break up with someone beforehand. Maybe they wanted
to ruin the show. Yes.
Well, people have done it in the past.
Sure.
But it just kind of depends maybe what that year is going to be, thumbs up, thumbs down, like whatever. So it definitely seemed like that was not an option for him. So he went and was like, let me make this as clear as I can. Okay. I might as well just write you a letter and be like, slip it under your door and be like, just FYI, I don't want to break your heart. I'm choosing Kelsey. So he definitely laid her up for it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And, she walked away.
But then at the same time, you still that would obviously feel that way. But then you also there's probably been multiple of those moments throughout where you're like, was that signal?
That's very true.
You can get in your head about it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I guess when you are hyper in your head and you're trying to analyze every little moment, that you probably would be like, maybe I'm misreading
Maybe
this.
I'm crazy. Yeah.
But we do then see her in ITMs say, if I'm being 100% honest, I don't think it's me. That was her sweat lodge moment.
That was have we ever seen that?
I don't
think I've ever seen, they'll say, I don't, I'm nervous, or, they could choose her, but I've never seen someone say, I don't think it's me.
Not that I recall.
I'm locked in on this and I need to go check. So that was very interesting because we all felt it, obviously watching, but we also a lot of times feel like our tricks can be played on us where we're like, are they just cutting out the one thing? As the viewers,
you're like, I don't know what I'm seeing, what's being edited, what I'm showing versus what they're keeping from us. And so we're always question marky, but as the person in the actual position, I don't think it's never been revealed to us, at least. I don't think that person or that a contestant, a final top 2 contestant said that. So then we have Kelsey's final date. Again, like I said, she's wearing white again. She is a mind surgeon herself, Kelsey. They have a spa day. They're exfoliating their feet. I'm like, I wonder if he's a foot guy because he really got a good look ski at her feet very, very many times on this date.
Yes.
We got some close shots. You know, those are going straight to Wiki Feet. Sorry, Kelsey, you know. But like you said, this is way more bonding than, you know, being...
Bonding, kind of like...
Romantic,
like, you know, calming.
Yes.
You know, you're sitting there getting massage, relaxing.
They're being playful with each other.
Yeah, like ayahuasca in the desert versus like a beach hang.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's obviously an extreme version of what happened, but it's like a sweat lodge where you're being like put through the fires.
Yeah.
And then a beautiful spa day. Like clearly.
It's two very different energies.
Yeah.
It's two very different energies. But then, yeah, so that goes great. They're giggling. They're having a great time. The night portion happens and she lights the candles and then they talk about meeting his family.
Yeah.
She clarifies about the whole marriage piece, right? She talks about the conversation with the sisters,
which is interesting.
And his parents.
So I wonder if that was like producer motivated or if that was her. Like I wonder if the producer said, "Hey, just so you know, like they seemed a little like interested about that," or if it's almost like once she said it, when it came out, she thought to herself, like, "I wonder if that could be construed in a weird way."
I would say to you,
the fact that she brought that up,
I think that's probably on her own accord.
that she kind of like said it, walked away, and then maybe later on that day thought, I wonder if they took that in a
because
weird way.
as producer, you know, you're trying to build tension, not relief, right?
That's
so
true.
What she
That's
gave
true.
him was relief in that moment, where I was like, "Hey, just FYI,
I thought about it, and I said that weird."
And I think that, like, I don't know if they misunderstood what I said or if I said something a certain way, but just FYI, like, you know, it's just not marriage just isn't a box to check. It's about you, and I want to be with you, and that gave him that relief. And she also brings up the fact that
which is a huge green flag, by the way. Someone saying that, in my opinion. Because some people Because some people say a lot of things like, I just want to get married. Right? And it's like, what? You're missing like the main part of that, which is like a specific person for the rest of your life. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, and also this show, right?
It's really easy to get married. You can just go down, just go, hey, want to go? And then sign a document. Now you're married. Like, that's easy. What's hard is like finding the person for the rest of your life. So I like that she clarifies that.
100%. And again, especially with this show, like, let's be real here. You know, we have people who are getting on a reality TV show.
Right.
And you don't necessarily know who the lead's going to be until maybe a few days before.
Yeah.
And so her being like, no, it's not a box to check for me. Like it's about who you are.
Agreed.
And I mean, she tells him that he makes her feel special and he says he's so lucky, and he is staring into her eyes and the energy is different.
Completely
He
different.
gives her a few smiles with teeth and then he longingly looks in her eyes and there's like, it's like,
also,
I'm fully connected right now.
Also Mac City.
Also Mac City.
I noticed the big thing was after the date with Daisy, he was like, okay, I got to go. Bye. And then they were macking. I was like, okay, it's a done deal.
Yeah, 100%. Then we get into the final portion of their time in Tulum. And Jesse Palmer, here we go. He said it like the Joker. It was actually a little terrifying. I was like, this is...
Go.
Also, the music in this episode was wild.
There was like these weird moments where it was just like, and we'll see what happens next. Dun, 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 and you're like, what?
But then also, like, at certain moments when he was talking to Daisy, it was like,
oh, yeah, it got real Pirates of the Caribbean there for a minute.
And I go, yeah, also, where's Michael Bolton?
Yeah, that's true.
Where's Michael
He's
Bolton
already
to
here.
wrap up?
This is a tale of Captain Jack Sparrow. Yeah.
Where is he to wrap this thing up, baby? I needed it like a ribbon at the end.
It was funny, though. You're right. It was like,
I needed him to sing to our happy couple.
I just really think that... it's been really nice meeting you. It's just like dun 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 dun, and it was like it wasn't like na na na. It was like bong gong 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 gong. It was like a kink. Like I want to hear the clinking of swords.
That's what it felt like. So then we see Daisy, and Daisy is saying everyone's getting dressed and ready. She's in her gorgeous red gown. Kelsey is in her gorgeous white gown. And she starts saying that she is going to have to be really...
You're right. You're absolutely right.
She always wears white. Yep. And she says, I have to be strong today, even though I'm about to crumble. And she's like, I feel like I know what I need to do. And she knocks on the door. And I was really hoping that it was a really long knock, by the way, and nobody answered. I was like, she's going to leave her a note.
Yeah.
That's what
You
Kelsey
love that.
did.
You love the note. Everyone, you said leave someone a note 5 times this episode. You love the idea of leaving someone a note.
You know why?
You should leave me a note. How can you leave me a note? You can kind of scratch that itch a little bit.
You know why? Because I'm just like, I'm
Leave a
trying
note for
I'm trying to
someone.
be like an art director here and be like, what's the through line with the goddamn
No,
note?
you're the person.
Because
You're
they
one of the
tease us with
producers.
this note, and I'm like, I just want this note thing to be happening for the rest of.
Yeah, you're like one of the producers, and they're like talking about ideas for every scene, and you're just like, well, they could. Yeah, we know, Jess. Leave the person a note. I love that idea. And you're like, well, I do have this idea, and they're like, Jess, we know it's got to be a note, some sort of note.
I just want you to know that I reject you.
But also, you're being very cute today. I love all your little isms because even just you're making me laugh a lot. Because even just you a second ago, you're like, it walks up to the door, goes. Like even that, you did the you acted out someone knocking at the door, which is just like such a funny thing to me. I don't know. Walked up to him and just went.
Don't be jealous that you can go.
Yeah, I can't do it.
That's all this is, just jealousy.
It is true. I just think that your isms are very cute today.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, she doesn't leave her a note. They actually speak. The second they see each other, they both start sobbing and holding each other. And you and I, that was when the emotion was like, whoa. Emotion hit like a ton of bricks.
Kelsey didn't when she invited her in. She wasn't like, "What are you doing? What's up?" It was like,
no,
"Oh my!"
It was
they
like
start crying.
seeing
It was
her
sweet.
long lost sister, because they haven't seen each other now in a little while, right? Because they've had them separated, and so it's like, oh, to see her.
Which reminds me of what she said with the mom and stuff, where she was like, "It breaks my heart to know that like Daisy might not marry him because that'll be hard for her." Like she was saying stuff like that. I was like, whoa,
I
like
forgot about that.
yeah, she was like saying tons of this like super selfless stuff about like how it's so hard to think because I love Daisy so much. The fact that her heart might be broken or mine, and with the fact that like she was so like, but then she's like, I'm totally okay though if he chooses Daisy because that means he's happy.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit, man! Like
it's true,
incredible. Yeah,
that's some big love right
big
there.
love,
big
yeah,
love. But they're like sobbing, and she's like, come in, and then that's when she's like, so how was your week? And Kelsey says it was good, and Daisy's like, would you mind sharing more? She's like, I'll be honest with you, my date felt off. And this is where I start to scratch my head. I'm like, Daisy went in. I'm also so interested that in like the choice with producers and everything, like allowing them to see each other, what they thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because Daisy came in and was like, how did it go for you?
Basically checking like, is he off right now or was it me?
Yes. Basically like confirming.
Like he was weird to me. If you told me you had a weird one too, then at least I know he's just struggling.
So I was shocked that they allowed this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been as shocked if Daisy would have looked at producers and been like, I'm done. I'm going to turn him down.
Right. And then
so
they'd be
I'm
like,
going to
go
go
talk.
in and tell Kelsey because I
Yes.
love Kelsey to say, hey, just FYI, I am going to say no. I don't know if you're on the, like, just to let you know, like I'm going to be
Yes.
stepping away. But the fact that she got to go in and be like, can I gauge? Is it him? Is it me? Am I feeling like, what's the deal? That was fascinating to me. And
Yes.
I also am so curious to know what Daisy would have done if Kelsey would have been like, he seems off to me too.
Right. Because now, well, then it would have really rattled her cage. Because she would have been
would
like,
Daisy have taken the risk and just,
no, I
you think she would have walked away?
No, I think that she would have not done what she did.
That's what I'm saying. She would have taken the risk and just showed
Gone
up.
and shut him. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think the confirmation that she was feeling was the whole, no, we had a great day yesterday. He gave me all the affirmation I ever wanted. Like, oh, shit.
I'm so curious if it would have been like, oh, yeah. Or if Kelsey wouldn't have, because think about this. Kelsey also, I'm thinking about if I was in Kelsey's position, like I could see myself all of a sudden hearing Daisy saying that even if I thought we were good, I'd get in my head maybe and be like, I guess, I don't know, maybe we were weird. Right. And then if Kelsey would have said, I don't know, maybe we are, that could have changed the whole trajectory to what ended up happening. Yeah. But because Kelsey said, no, we were really good. Also, too, just a testament to both of these women, the respect they have for each other and being honest. Daisy being like, it didn't go so great for me. And then Kelsey being honest with her and saying it went really well.
Yes, that's very true. She kind of she could have been like, you know what? Yeah, I know. Sometimes he's like that, and you know, I wouldn't worry about it. Like
she could have tried to play her cards and been like, I don't know what's happening right now.
She's just like, yeah, gave me tons of validation, but she did it in a way that was, it was really respectful and sweet. And the fact that like after that too, that Daisy didn't feel frustrated and then like leave, and you know the fact that she, I don't know, it was just really, it was like about as impossibly sweet and caring as two people could handle a situation.
It was very
so not meant to be.
Incredibly empowering, especially in this situation of what this show can deliver sometimes, right? Yeah. Where it's the people walk away and it's just absolutely devastating. It's like they are in, then they show them the next scene. Joey is waiting by the ring, by the rose, and they are driving there together in the car. And we don't have an actual answer, but Daisy walks out to him first. And I also wonder too, Daisy, I'm assuming she had told Kelsey probably what she was going to do at that point. But also when they tell her to go first, it's confirmation that, hey, Kelsey's the one he's choosing. Because you know, if you're first, he's ending it with you, or they're ending it with you. True.
But then it just occurred to me that Daisy gave him the ultimate gift. I know. I didn't really think about that.
I know.
But she knew she wasn't the one.
Yeah.
But she also knew that his biggest two fears were someone not choosing him and him having to break someone's heart. She gave him the gift of saying, I know I'm not the one. You've been amazing. Let's end this thing. And he was able to just say, you've meant a lot to me. And I just felt like, wow, like he kind of escaped with all his fears being quenched.
And you know what? It made me so happy because it was like, he is such a good guy. At least everything that we've seen from him, he's done this so flawlessly and not hurt anybody. So the fact that he got that ending where he didn't have to be like, the hurt was as small as possible,
have to shock her,
and she gave him that gift. It was like a really beautiful warm hug. And they're that moment together where she walks down and she's like, I do love you, but the thing is, you're not going to choose me. And I've realized this, and you know that it's not me. And she says, you have said that you want what's best for me. So I'm going to do what's best for me, and I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was pretty
powerful,
incredible.
Tough, but also like
you said,
that's as amazing as you could handle it.
It wasn't that like, oh my God, what happened? Blah, 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 type moment that we thought it might be. But it was like a really beautiful moment in the franchise.
Yeah,
it was really stunning. And then
go ahead.
When he says, by the way, he also confirms to her, which I loved that he did. I loved that he was like, yeah. And he kind of gave her a little speech, and in the speech he said something like, yes, my person is not you. It's the other one. It's the other individual. And so he confirmed, like, yes, just so you know, you are doing what is best for you, because I was not going to be choosing you. And then when he's like, can I walk you out?
Yeah.
And she says, I think that's something I should do on my own.
Yes.
And I felt like that was also another gift to him.
It was like the walk, put it in the car, and the whole thing. It's like,
it was a gift to him, and I think it was super empowering for her. And then also because of that, she was able to then kind of walk back and then have a moment with Kelsey.
Oh my God. When she said, Kelsey, your mom's looking down, like so proud of you right now. It was like, are you guys right? Is this a script? Is this like, are you guys writing this down? It was so beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
Amazing. And like Daisy's been a lot of, in my opinion, really reserved in general. And we were able to really see her kind of, I think how people act when they're hurt or scared or frustrated, right? Generally is kind of like a real look into their character.
Shows a lot about who they are. Yeah.
And I think that like the way she handled all that really showed that she, is a really, really good person, it seems like. So it was just really cool to see. And then also that Kelsey got to kind of have that support and that not feel bad, not feel like, sorry, the fact that she, I don't know. It was just really, really good.
No, it really was. Then of course we see Joey walk away and he's crying and he's like overcome with emotion. But it was interesting to see the, because of the music they played over it before, we thought it was like him absolutely devastated. And he was so sad, but it was also like he said, and like you said, what a gift for him. So it's like he's heartbroken that he has to say goodbye, but at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, he was sobbing, being like, she's such an incredible person.
Yeah.
that she did this.
I felt that too, the way that they also broke, it off with it was like, I'm gonna miss you. Like I could totally see myself not choosing a person, but being like, my God, I'm gonna miss them.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like really feeling
you
like
love
we had a
in your
connection.
life.
We
Yeah.
probably could, maybe there was some things in common that were so
Yeah.
important. Maybe we shared so many great experiences, and maybe they're not the one, but not wanting them to go away basically, but knowing that that's
100%.
the reality of life. Like
I think
felt
Joey had a
that
couple,
heaviness.
Daisy, Rachel, like he loves,
Yeah.
like there's love there.
Yeah, it was like, I'm going
deeply.
to really miss
Yeah,
you, like
yeah.
as a person.
100%.
Yeah.
And then we have Kelsey, and he says, nothing's been difficult about choosing you.
Yeah.
He says, I know that this flame will never go out because you're my light. I was like, oh my God. And he kept talking about, by the way, over and over again in his ITMs and then on stage, that he's like, she is so excited about life. Like how we talk about, we're like, she's
Dude.
magnetic because it's like
Literally sees someone play pool and she's like, oh my God. And you're like,
just like,
oh, you pool? You
and it's true. So he's like, you're my light. I'm always gonna have a flame because you are a burning bright light.
I
And
want
she
just-
really is.
Give me 10% of that, Kelsey. Please send it over.
Just that little bit. And you know what?
God.
Joey had his speech. He had a speech, and you could tell
Yeah.
that he had written that and memorized it
Oh, yeah.
because the way he was saying it was like he was
And
reading
then-
it off
and
thing,
then-
but
and
he
then-
memorized
yeah,
it.
yeah.
God bless. He sat. That man was with intention. Probably wrote
Yes.
that out and spent time the night before
He's like,
memorizing
I want this
that.
to be good.
You know what I mean? And we see her dad too watching from the audience, the most handsome man that's ever lived, maybe our next Golden Bachelor. He was like a god looking upon them. I looked at you, I go, this man, I swear, whenever I look at him, I feel like when he's about to speak, like his voice
He's got
would like
Thor energy.
yeah,
or
it would like
something.
his voice would like rattle the room because the bass would be like,
Yeah.
it's like a god.
No, he really does have like retired Greek god vibes.
He's Zeus.
Yeah,
he's
is
up
he
there
a retired
chilling.
Zeus?
Yeah, he's 100% retired Zeus.
Yeah, he's retired Zeus. 100%.
That's exactly what he's. I could see the lightning bolts like on his sandals
Yeah.
and like the reef.
like they have branded. Oh, that's what you're saying. Like,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Come on now.
No, you're right. You're
Come
right.
on
You're
now.
right. You're right. Just slip some little note.
How dare you? I had one for later. But it was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And all I could think about is the one thing I do wish they would have done is I looked at him and I said, I wish they would have released butterflies after he proposed to her. Because
Yeah.
she kept talking about how when she sees a butterfly, it reminds her of her mother. And it feels like her mother's there. I kind of wanted them to release butterflies. But and then Joey, it's the Joey hot seat at first. They have the conversation, Joey and Daisy, which is, it's so respectful. There's so much love there. And they kind of talked about like when she kind of had the intuition and the feeling. And she had said that it was in a rose ceremony, I think after Rachel left. But I'm going to now stick by it was like that date sweat lodge moment that like everything dawned on her. And then Kelsey comes out, the happy couple. They are just so stinking cute together. We find out that her and Joey, he's moving to New Orleans and then they're planning on moving to New York together. So they've got plans. By the way, they're having the conversations about grief and they talk to Kelsey's dad and it's very sweet. And then Jesse's like, can we wrap this up? Are we ready to wrap this up? And Joey's like, can I say one more thing? And Jesse's like, sure. And he just turns to everybody. He goes, can I just take a moment and just say how lucky I am?
Yeah.
I'm so in love with, and I don't think we've ever seen a lead do that. It was like, hold on, let me pause this moment and like calm down everybody because it's all going so fast and just say, this is my person. I'm so lucky. And I'm like, I think these two are going to work out long term.
It really
think so.
and it feels like two people who also aren't, and I could be wrong, super focused on like
The fame of it all.
influency vibes.
No, I don't think so either.
So it just doesn't feel, it feels like love first energy.
Yes. 100%.
We'll see, obviously. You get, sucked up into Los Angeles and,
I know.
and all this stuff. But as of now,
I believe
their
in-
starting point looks very promising.
I think we have a couple who's going to make it.
Yes.
And if that is the case, we have 3 couples in a row. Zach and Katie are still together. Charity and Dotun, they're so cute together. And now if Joey and Kelsey make it long term, that's like 3 successful couples in a row.
Yes.
It's a good
Agreed.
average for the franchise right
It
now.
is.
If they stick it, and I believe that they will. I
think
really
so,
get that
too.
energy. That's for sure. And then they get a gift. They're like, we're not going to send you away empty handed. the Fairmont in Jasper has offered a stay for you all. And I'm like, I can
One
guarantee
night.
it's a one-night voucher.
I
You're going to have to pay for
buy 4 more
airfare.
nights. Okay, Fairmont's really expensive.
It's like a Fairmont's a fortune. You're going to get one night
It's
at
like
this very expensive
$10,000
hotel.
off your $100,000 item. You're like, that's good.
It's a lot of money, but it's still
I still have to spend 90 grand, so
$90,000.
maybe not.
And then, of course, Jesse teased the little golden bachelor hint about Kelsey's dad, Mark. And I was like, don't even tease me, Jesse, because, we all want it. So don't even tease.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next big news, we have our Bachelorette announcement, which we got to talk about Daisy and then our actual Bachelorette announcement. But we have our Bachelorette announcement.
Yeah.
And I want to say, first and foremost, I'm about to chat about Maria, our God, our Queen Maria. But I want to say, first and foremost, I am so excited for Jen.
Yes.
Congratulations to Jen, our new Bachelorette. Here's the thing. You all know from the day one, I have loved Jen.
Yeah.
Jen has been amazing. She's funny. She's charming. She's charismatic. She's been vulnerable and talked about her family and everything. And I think Jen is going to make an incredible Bachelorette. And even in that moment when she was talking with Jesse and she was doing the big personality and shadow clock, I'm like, are we going to have a party Bachelorette on our hands?
Yeah.
Is Jen going to be down to let's have fun? And she literally said, she's like, I just want to make sure we have fun and that they're just having a good time.
I love that. It was funny too, because she was like, yeah, I was working last night, in the ER or whatever. And it was like, oh, okay. So you're you know what I mean? You're in it. You're, you know what I mean? Not in LA trying to be an actress or something. And this is another angle.
No.
You're as real as it gets vibe,
Yes.
which I feel like will
That hard
translate
work in
very
business.
good to dealing with all of the bullshit that comes with dating 30 people. You know what I
1,000%.
mean?
We have a nurse and it seems like she likes to party.
And she likes to party.
She likes to party and we love a party. And also Jen is officially the first Asian lead the franchise has ever had, which is ridiculous. But the fact that she's the first, congratulations to her. I'm so
absolutely.
excited. She is an incredible, incredible person. Everyone has seemed to fall in love with her. All the women love her. And yes, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be Maria. We all, obviously us here, Maria, we absolutely worship at the ground that is Maria. But Maria, she was there. She ran down to Jen. She's like, I am so happy for you. She embraced her. And then Maria actually posted on Instagram earlier today a video of her and Jen because that's I think one of her closest friends in the house.
Yeah.
And she said, just so everyone knows, I couldn't be more happy for her. She is the most deserving person.
Yeah.
She is an incredible human being. And now we have this representation in the franchise that is so necessary. And she's an incredible, incredible person to do so.
Yeah.
And so Maria's sending
she's gonna
her
be
all
great,
the support and love. I'm very excited. And also we've had a teaser where the photos of the men have come out already.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw 3 and I didn't click it because I'm for the cast bio, I have to see it, but already the guys, because the season is starting to film, I think in a few days.
Oh,
no,
really?
they're starting filming.
Oh, wow.
So Jen's getting right into it.
Right into it.
So anywho,
Okay.
I
That'll
think
be
we're going to have an
exciting.
amazing season.
Yeah.
Jen gives me really good Bachelorette energy.
Yeah.
I can just feel it. I'm telling y'all now, it's going to be a banger season. And in regards to Maria,
Yes.
I want to see Maria on my screen
Yeah.
for the rest of my life.
Where is she going to go?
Well, first of all, I think Maria's going to get married to an A-list actor.
You know what? Okay, listen.
Who do we think
Franchise,
she's
you better
gonna marry?
nab her now and put her in some shows because, you exactly said,
She's going to get married
Some
to an
A-lister's
A-lister
gonna swoop her.
immediately. Who do we think she's going to marry? I know Bradley Cooper's in a relationship, I think, with Gigi Hadid right now, but I think maybe her and Bradley Cooper, I can see it.
Interesting.
I
could see Brad coming down and being like,
Bradley
"What's
and
up?"
Maria, I could definitely feel that. We need to get, first of all, we need Maria on this podcast. We need to get Maria on, and I want to hear the full lowdown of like who is her ideal type.
100%.
Okay, maybe we do a Bachelorette on our show for Maria.
I love it.
We're like,
we find eligible
we're like, here are all our best single friends because we want you to hang out with us.
Right.
So.
This is my buddy Kevin, and he's looking for work. But he is an amazing guy.
He has been dating someone for a while, but you know what?
This is
these are all of our parents.
This is my buddy Jerry. He works at Starbucks. He's a great guy. He can make a mean cup of coffee. Yeah, I think that she is a ticking opportunity, and they better grab her for some stuff while they got her.
She's gonna get married to an A-lister. She's gonna become. I don't think we ever discussed this, but she was an actor on The Pacifier across from Vin Diesel.
She was like 5 or something
literal
like that.
Icon in the most like iconic scene ever.
So you already have an IMDb page.
She already has an IMDb page. So I'm like, maybe she'll get into acting, and then we're gonna see her on like the silver screen. You know what? Check Maria out at the Oscars next year because she's not just going to be dating an A-lister. Fuck that. She will be the A-lister who's walking the red carpet for one of her scenes. That is what I'm saying about Maria. Move over, Tyler Cameron. You think you're the one? You're like I think he's the most followed. Maybe it's Hannah Brown or Tyler
You're not
Cameron.
the one.
You're not the one. It's not gonna. Maria's gonna be the most followed person in this franchise. Soon. I just believe it. Also, I will say this. This is my little thought. So I obviously, we don't know. I know there was something on Instagram floating around about maybe that Maria turned down the opportunity. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't have confirmation of what went down behind the scenes. If she said yes, no, like how that all went down.
Yeah.
Maybe by the time this came out, she's talked about it. So sorry if she has and I'm missing it. But if she's open to continuing on with the franchise, the thought that I have is, I know we're talking about that there won't be a Bachelor in Paradise season because they haven't announced it, but I don't think they've officially said it's canceled. So you have to wonder, are they wanting to have Maria on Bachelor in Paradise? Because so many people were like, obsessed with Maria and her following is just through the roof. And, we have the Women Tell All where there's the incredible back and forth with all the other ladies. I'm like, Maria is Paradise Gold. Oh. Let's be real.
Paradise or adjacent.
Gold.
Something
right. I mean,
like
everything, but she really is Paradise Gold because, there'd be so many guys who'd be flying down to Mexico to meet
There'd be
Maria.
a lot of guys going, I came here for.
And then that they'd have Sydney on the beach, Jess on the beach, and the drama would be, and Leia, and the drama would be popping.
I honestly think that if they're considering canceling or like not doing the show or for whatever, like ratings or something, I do think that doing it alone just for these women would be enough for at least one more season.
That's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if they're like, this is going to be, we're hoping that this will save the Bachelor in Paradise franchise because it looks like it's sinking. Yeah. So we're going to do this. That is what I'm hoping for because I need to see Maria on my screen. But either way, we love you, Maria. And so excited for Jen.
Yes.
Like,
it's going to be
she's
great.
going to be an amazing Bachelorette. And from the beginning of her time with Joey, she's given us the charm, the charisma, like all those moments with her where she was like giving him shit about his feet. And like, I don't know.
She's a sleeper in that way. Like she was always kind of sweet in the beginning and then she really started to come out of her shell. Yes. And then even the way she was with Jesse, she's cracking jokes, she's doing shots. Like, I think that she's kind of like, now that I'm probably a little bit more like on the stage. Yes. I think she's going to really come out of her shell.
And also, you know what I just thought of? You know where I was like, why was Michael Bolton not here?
Yeah.
Excusez-moi.
He's filming.
No, think about this. She was on her date with Joey when they got the drones. Yeah. And they played a new Michael Bolton track. Oh. Maybe Michael Bolton will be the track of Jen's season. Okay. And then we'll get Michael Bolton during her season again. And then he will be there for the final. I need Michael Bolton. Okay, so I'm hoping that maybe
date Michael Bolton if the things don't work out. But I think they're like, where's Jen? We can't find her. She's in, Bali with Bolton.
In Bali with Bolton.
In Bali with Bolton. And then that's the new season that comes out, Bali with Bolton. And
it's insane. But
a forbidden love.
But before Jen was officially announced, we did have Daisy come out. Now I do have to tell you this. I wanted Daisy to have her moment. Loved to have a conversation with Daisy. Do not get me wrong, but didn't love that it was like, I don't know why they did this, where it's like, we're going to announce the Bachelorette, and then we're sitting with Daisy and they changed all the roses to daisies. Yeah. And then they essentially go, Daisy, would you be ready to find love? And she's like, you guys, I'm really not in a space yet. And essentially is like, no, I'm not ready. And then they're like, okay, now we're going to announce the Bachelorette.
It was a weird...
I felt like that wasn't fair to Jen because it was like, hey, it was almost like we're teasing, like, oh, here's Daisy. And everyone's like, oh, okay, it's going to be Daisy. And it's like, actually, it's not Daisy. She says no. So instead we're going with Jen.
Almost like people were expecting Daisy to be the Bachelorette. And then they're like, just so you know, she's not going to be. That's what I'm saying.
Why. 100% people were expecting after that. Those scenes, Daisy was going to be the Bachelorette.
Because it was like, here comes the...
Everything, every line she was saying, every moment and movement, it was like, this is very like next Bachelorette energy. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, actually, she's saying no, so here's Jen. And I was like, no, give Jen her fucking moment. Yeah. Like, let Jen absolutely shine like she deserves to shine, and she absolutely will be. Yeah. But, you know, I wanted Daisy to have her moment in time on the stage, and so I loved having more time with her. But I feel like the way that they cut it was like, okay, we're going to talk about Bachelorette next, and they made it look... And again, changing the flowers, making it look like it was going to be Daisy, and then being like, never. I don't know. I did not like the way that they did that at all. Personally, I was like, no, you need to make it like Jen's big moment.
Sure.
But yeah, I was surprised that Daisy was saying like, I'm not ready and she's not in a place. But she said that, you know, for the first time in a long time, she feels really healthy. And she feels happy, and so she wants to take advantage of that time with the people that she loves and her family. And, you know, she definitely feels like there is still some heartbreak going on. She felt tight on the stage. I don't know if you noticed that, but she felt tense. Like
kind of like perma-smile.
Yeah, like it was like she was doing like all the lovely things, but it was really hard. Yeah. And then Jesse ends up bringing Kelsey out, and they got to have like their special moment together and, you know, show love with each other. But even in those moments, I feel like I could tell that she felt like she was hurting a little bit. Yeah. But I mean, it was a shocking. There were a lot of shocking moments. It was, you guys,
season.
That season, we're going to clap again. The season was really, truly phenomenal.
Really, we got a lot of great people.
The women were amazing. We found so many people that like we've fallen absolutely in love with now. The franchise is lit up.
Yes.
Cannot wait for next season. We also then have gold. You were to clap
I was
again.
about to clap again. No, continue.
We have Golden Bachelorette that's to come as well.
I know.
Which is so exciting.
They kind of threw out like Kelsey's dad, maybe.
Yeah. I talked about that. You don't remember? Were you zoning out?
Maybe.
I feel offended.
I don't remember that. I don't remember you brought that up. Oh, you mentioned it really quickly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into this episode, you guys. So Daisy meets the family. It was crazy.
So stupid. Oh, but family, we love you all. Thanks for going along this journey with us. And by the way, special shout out to Maria, who confirmed that when Evan last week said that at the Women Tell All that Maria looked at Jesse and said, my dad has a hit out on Joey, and Evan said
confirmed.
That was a nod to your mom and dad. Maria herself posted that it was specifically a nod to us.
It was confirmed.
We just one more clap for Maria. I mean, I'm just absolutely honored and baffled, and it just means so much.
It means so much.
It really means so much. So thank you for tuning in. We love you. Yes. We love you all. We love the family. Cannot wait for our upcoming episodes. Again. Yeah. Next week is going to be really fun.
Really fun.
I swear we would not lead you astray. Also, if it was going to be a mediocre episode, I'd be like, it's going to be good next week. Yeah. I promise you
it's going to be a really fun week. And yeah, it's going to be really fun. Also, as we continue on, we want to start touching in again on some of our call homes. So please send some advice stuff, stuff. And we'll get specific too, but you know, feel free to kind of jump back in. We're going to jump back into that pool. So send all your advice and needs and desires, and we will be there for you.
Yeah, send your questions. You can send advice too, but you can.
Send your need for advice, not or send. Yeah, if you just
if you want to
any
send us
general advice
too,
I could
fine.
use.
I could probably use a lot of advice.
Send
to be honest.
a need for advice.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
God, that was like the most confusing way to ask for send questions.
I know. I was like,
God.
I don't know if I'm following. And also send those DMs about what reality TV shows you want to see us cover next, because we're getting right back into reality TV. Okay. We love you all.
We'll see you next week.
Beautiful week. We'll see you next week on next Wednesday.
Yes.
All right. Bye, family.
Bye.
Cheers to Joey and Kelsey. Bye. Go out with a clap.